right. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this masterclass on energetic sales. Thank you for all of you who are here today. I'm so excited to get to see you all. Please feel free to write things in the chat as we are moving forward with this. So our masterclass today is all about energetic selling. And this is one of my favorite topics, because if we are having a business and we don't tell anyone about it, who's going to know, right? So we definitely need to start bringing that energy closer and closer to our heart and to what we do. And there's a way on how you can do sales that don't feel pushy, that it doesn't feel like you need to be creating all this like fuss around it, that you need to feel like you are begging for clients to come to you, but the other way around, that they feel so aligned with you and it's awesome, right? Oh, welcome, Adrienne. Thank you so much for sharing about you. Adrienne is Johnson of Rebuild. She's a boundaries coach. I love boundaries, right? And retreat leader who identifies to empower women to identify their values. Thank you so much. Please feel free to introduce yourselves here. Thank you so much for your time that you are giving me today and the time that you are giving to yourselves. Yes. If you have the possibility to turn on your cameras for those of you who are in Zoom with me, that will be amazing, because we create an amazing container of energy and vibrations, and I love to see your faces. If you can't, that's also totally fine. But if it's a possibility, why not? So I want to start today with a post that I put yesterday actually on Instagram, because I just saw it and I got so inspired by it, and I want to read it to you because I think it's beautiful and perfect for what we're going to be talking about today. It says, the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. It's from Steve Jobs. Okay, I really like the crazy things that he has done in life, right? He just went out there and said, like, I'm changing the world, and he has revolutionized the world, right? And well, he did, and his legacy is still here, right? So many times when we think about building our business, we are not considering the legacy that we want to live behind when we are no longer here. But what if we actually think about the legacy since the beginning of our business? I'm just putting this question out there for you, right? What if we are already creating something that is creating a legacy, and this legacy can be transformation of humankind? That's why I love retreats so much, because they help people transform, and it's in a beautiful, powerful container that allows deeper and faster transformation, right? Like, type a one in the chat if you agree that retreats are huge for transformation. I can tell you for myself that I changed my life through retreats. And I went a little bit crazy, and I went to retreats throughout 6 months, every single weekend, and sometimes longer to retreats. And I found it to be such a powerful medicine that I decided to spend my life doing that, right? Isn't that awesome? Like, I really found the transformation, and I knew that this was the way I wanted to leave my legacy behind, helping more people transform their lives and helping those who are transforming others people's lives in a beautiful, beautiful space, right? And everything that I'm going to teach you today actually works for any business that you have, okay? This is not just for retreats. I like to teach everything that I do in a way that is very holistic and can actually take you through different next steps, and you can incorporate it in your business as an overall. So you don't have to be doing so many different things all the time, just thinking that every time you need to have a different strategy. You can build one strategy for your whole business that incorporates maybe retreats, online courses, in-person experiences, community building, you name it. Pre-recorded courses, it doesn't matter, right? So I think this is something that's very, very important to bring into the conversation. So first, Bia, I keep seeing you on Facebook. I love that you're here. Thank you so much for being here. Bia Bliss, she's a holistic intimacy and transformational facilitator, guiding you to embrace authentic intimacy and out of the bedroom through one-on-one coaching, group work, workshops, and retreats. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let's get ourselves into the juicy stuff. So just for you to know how this works and how I like to do my master classes, I will teach you a bunch of stuff because I don't like fluffy kind of just like, oh, kind of things. I'm going to teach you a bunch of stuff. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit about how you could work with me if it's something that you're called for. If you're like, oh, I really want to host retreats and I want to go deeper into it. We don't take that much time there. It's just like for you to get a taste. If you are interested, then you can reach out to me. We can have a conversation and that's it. And then at the end, I'm going to do live coaching. So get your pens ready. If you have any questions that you want to have, like, they might come throughout what I'm teaching, right? Just write them down. And at the end, I'm going to be answering all your questions. Okay. So let me just take a second to thank you for your energy and for your presence today, because this is so beautiful. Every single time I see new faces and familiar faces coming into my classes, it just really resonates with me in the space that there's so many amazing people out there that are looking to create transformation in the world. And this is so powerful. Sylvan, nice to see you again. Okay, welcome. Like, oh, this is so amazing. Okay. Oh, I could spend all the time just talking to all of you amazing women. I think it's all women. This time, usually I do have people in my courses that are men. There's always men, but like most of the sessions, there's a thing about it actually. More women were bold enough to travel solo and to travel the world. Actually, 64% of the travelers in the world are women. Yeah. And women are 91% more keen to travel on their own than men. Okay. So I want to start. I started with this amazing quote from Steve Jobs, but I want to tell you something, and I have my amazing notes here, but I want to start by reading this to you. So I want you to bring this into your mind, into your mindset, into your awareness, right? Is committing to selling, is expressing your soul at your highest level. Why am I saying this? It might sound a little bit maybe controversial, right? For someone, does it feel like selling is supposed to be your highest level of your soul? Like, type a 1 in the chat if you don't agree that this is a normal belief, right? Okay, right? It's so important for us to bring this space into the conversation. Sales are not really about selling. What? I know. You're probably thinking, what? Sales is not about selling. Sales, like when you're selling something, is about the transformation that you are creating for others, right? If you're selling a transformational product, service, retreat, online program, you're not really doing it for the sales itself. The sale, the profit, it's a bonus piece of you fulfilling your purpose and your life, right? Of really following and guiding yourself to your highest self, right? Yes, I see some yeses here. Okay, perfect. I want to make sure that we're sinking into the same energy and vibration. For transformation to happen, there needs to be a transaction. It doesn't matter if it's with dollar bills, euros, or apples, right? Because it's an energetic exchange. We're constantly selling our children, our spouses. We are selling ourselves every single day, all the time. And it's part of what it is. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Let's just normalize that. It's all about your brand and who you are, right? Like if you have your company, you are selling your experience, your knowledge, what you have created through your life, right? Like you're not selling thin air or something that doesn't exist. So if we're bringing that into the conversation, we want to make sure that we know that our brand is an extension of who we are. So if we're selling a product, a service, digital goods, or a retreat, you are selling your energetic imprint, right? Your energetic imprint. Like I could give scripts, I could give transcripts of every single session that I've taught. I could give all my content for free out there, and someone else could take it and try to do the same, and it would not be the same because it's not me. That's an energetic imprint in a very, very general way, right? So if we do this and we really consider that we're putting our energetic imprint in every single thing that we do, this is such a beautiful opportunity and experience for us to bring that into awareness and then into our business. And if we bring it into awareness, what happens? Huge transformation starts happening just by saying yes. Okay? I can tell you, every single person that has joined my programs have said, just from saying yes, the next day, oh my gosh, my business is already building up. Because it's all about the awareness. It's about taking the next step, knowing that this is what you want to do. This is where your purpose is. And if you're doing things from your heart and you just keep showing up, right? Consistency is key. Then everything works out. And yes, there's strategies and there's like funnels and there's social media and there's paid ads and there's all these different things. But if you are not aligned with what you're doing, you can have the best strategy and nothing is going to happen, because if you don't believe in something, it's not going to happen. I want to ask you a question right here, right now. Have you ever seen a social media post that you were like, oh, this is so good, I want to keep seeing it. And then you stop scrolling and then you start looking at the different pages and you read it through it. And maybe there's a caption and then you like put see more, right? This is alignment on an energetic level. It's talking to you, right? And then have you seen another post that you're like, oh, I don't want to keep seeing this. This is enough. Like, I don't want to go there. And then you just keep scrolling. Like, type a 1 in the chat if you've been there. Like, let me know if what I'm saying is resonating with you. Sure. Yeah. Yes. Because our energy that we put out there, people can feel it. Let's think about ourselves as like radio stations, right? We tune ourselves to a certain frequency. When you're using a radio, that I know most of us don't use radios anymore, but that's kind of like the way it's the best example, right? And we tune ourselves towards this space. We are talking to people who are tuning into the same radio station, right? If they're tuned into a different radio station, what happens is they don't listen to us, right? So we want to make sure that we're tuning ourselves into the same vibrational levels that we want to be talking to. As we go through this session, you're going to realize that I don't do pain point marketing. I do inspirational marketing, because I don't believe that the people that want to work with me want to focus on their pain points or on what they're struggling. They want to focus on how to use those to power themselves through experiences, and then see the goal, see the big vision, right? See the possibilities. So I'm going to show you tons of possibilities today. And we are going to start from some limiting beliefs that come when it comes to energetic sales, right? Okay, yes, I'm so over pain point marketing. Yes, me too. It's 2 years ago, right? It's like old, like it's out of fashion. Like, let's just actually bring some joy into the world. And the reality also, if you're doing pain point marketing, the people that you're attracting is people who will have more objections because they might not even believe in themselves, right? But what if we just become the pointers, right? The people who can show them like their North Star, where they can go. Right? Okay, so before I go into this like limiting beliefs that we're gonna break through today, right? I wanna ask you, are you selling or are you avoiding? And please let me know in the chat. Like, when you're in your business today, are you avoiding or are you selling? Both. Yeah, let's be honest, right? Depends on the day. Awesome. Yes. Being authentic is so, so important, right? Also depends, right? Yeah. Yeah, we have ups and downs, right? Like life is like kind of like a roller coaster, and it's perfectly fine, right? I mean, in avoiding in a business context, yeah. Like, are you waking up and saying like, oh, well, I better just like take care of like this tiny little detail in my house when you know you're supposed to be telling people about what you're doing, right? Both. Okay, awesome. All right. Okay, so when we choose to go from avoidance to selling and to understanding, and this is at the beginning, it can be very hard, right? Like thinking about like selling every single day might be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be selling every day. Do I want to do that? Right. But if it's from this kind of raw marketing approach, of course it feels horrible. Also mainly for women, right? Because that's not how we are mainly wired, right? And I will talk about alignment with like feminine and masculine because we have the two of them inside of us, right? And it's something that is important that we can balance, because if the two of them work together, wow, what a powerful combination. Okay. So if we change what we think about selling, the results are going to change. As simple as that. Yeah. We just need to change the way we see it. And life is going to just become so much more different because we get to enjoy selling, because we understand that selling is not about selling. It's about creating transformation for other people in the world. Isn't that cool? Isn't that like amazing that we actually get to do that, right? Okay. So let's just have a look at our thinking. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and you go ahead and you think about them for a second. So, do you ever feel like I don't want to come across as salesy or pushy? Right. And just feel free to share in the chat. I want to see what's happening in your minds, right? But I don't want to come across as salesy or pushy. I've been there. I hid from selling for quite long time in my life. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I probably like was avoiding that even when I was working for companies and looking for a new job, right? Done and it feels yucky. Yes. There are ways that we don't have to be pushy when we are doing our business, when we are selling, because if we are in alignment with our message and we're sharing stories and we're sharing why, and we are talking and we're sharing from our hearts, people are going to be drawn to your message. Some of them, yes, some of them, no, because everyone needs a different type of person, right? Like I went to a Tony Robbins event and I really thought I would like really like his approach, and I didn't. It's not for me. It's too masculine, right? Then I went to a Joe Dispenza retreat. I actually planned a retreat for Joe Dispenza. And I was like, in that moment, that was perfect because I wanted the science approach to create this connection, this bridge between my mind and my heart, right? I left Tony Robbins event and didn't go back. Yeah, right? Like everyone has a different people that they resonate with. And that's why it's perfect. And that's why I don't believe that there's real competition out there, because each single one of you are sharing something completely different because you're powered by your experiences, right? So I want to say, if we are shifting our mindset from salesy or pushy to like we're giving people the opportunity to transform, to grow, and to honor themselves, isn't that like a big shift? Right? Let's think about it the other way around. What if this person needed me and then I didn't say anything because I didn't want to sound salesy or pushy? I can tell you a personal story. At the beginning of my journey with my online programs, I had people who were interested in my programs the first time, but the timing was not right. Something didn't match and it was perfect, right? Like I am not salesy or pushy because I know that everyone has the right timing and this is amazing, right? But then when I had like the next season of my program, because I didn't want to be salesy or pushy, I actually didn't go back to them and say, hey, I'm opening a new dates. Are you interested? You know what happened? Suddenly, I was like celebrating that the new program was starting, and then they would send me a message and say, hey, you didn't let me know that you had a new date. I would have joined. That taught me that I can make things differently, right? That I can change the way I sell, and that I don't have to be salesy or pushy. And when the time is right, the people come and it's perfect. And then more people come, and then more people come, and then I grow and I expand. And as I expand, they expand. Every single time my program runs again, there's so much more to learn because I keep growing, because I am powered by experiences, right? So let's shift. I don't want to come across as salesy and pushy, to that, like, I am actually giving people the opportunity to transform, to grow, and to honor themselves. And I'm also giving them the option to say no. I always tell people, you're free to say no. There's no commitment here. This is your choice. What this makes is just makes people feel safe. Because so many times when we grew up, we were not made to think or to allow ourselves to understand that actually saying no is an option. We tend to be people pleasers. So people will tell you, yes, let me think about it. And when they really want to say no, and then, yes, if you follow up with them, what happens is then you become salesy and pushy, right? So giving them the opportunity to be honest with you from the get-go just removes the salesy and pushy. Okay. I want to say that there is this phrase that really works for this mindset, right? Is I am doing it for them. I love them more than my fears. Because really, if we don't want to go out there and sell and we're hiding behind the salesy and pushy, it's because we're afraid of something else. And we're going to go deeper into that as we go into this. So stay on with me, because this is going to get better and better and better as we go, right? So many magical things happen when we start focusing on potential clients rather than on the fears and the feeling pushy or salesy, right? Or how we come across. We want to be authentic, right? And honor that. If we're being authentic with what we create in our lives, things just become so much, much more better. So there's a mantra you can tell yourself, right? And make sure to take notes if this is something that feels aligned with you, is I care more about my clients than my fears. I care more about my clients than my fears. Isn't that cool? Like, really, at the end of the day, this is so important. The next limiting belief that comes when it's like all about energetic selling, thank you, Bia, is I am taking away from clients when they buy from me. Is this feeling of like, oh, I'm opening up their wallets and I'm pulling out the bills so they have less money. Who has felt like that? Like, type a 1 in the chat if you have ever felt that someone buying from you means that you're taking away from them. Yes. Right. I'm here to tell you, no. Again, like, it's very important to be very specific of what your clients are going to get out of like buying from you, right? And what will be their return on investment, right? So it can be emotional, physical, it can be spiritual, it can be financial, right? But if we shift the mindset into like they're spending and they're investing in themselves, who has like here, who considers going to a coffee shop with a friend actually an investment? Does anyone consider that? Yes, I do. My friends think I'm a little bit crazy because the bill comes and I'm like so excited to pay for it. And they're like, but it's a bill. And I'm like, yes, but this means like our relationship is just so much better. And I got to spend time with you. So I actually put money or like energy or whatever into our friendship bank account. Yeah. So if we start shifting the mindset from spending towards investing, everything changes. If someone is coming and working with you and going into a retreat, they're not spending money, they're investing in themselves. Every single time anyone who comes and works inside of my programs, they know they're investing in themselves. They're not spending in themselves. Even you can make even buying a purse an investment on feeling better, on like going out to the streets and just feeling so luscious, right? Let's just bring that into the consideration, right? Into this space of, what if I get to invest in myself? What if my clients invest in themselves? And I am the vessel that helps them get there to the next time. Yes, that change in mindset makes a big difference, right? It does. I just joined a program with Dr. Ben Hardy. I don't know if you've heard of him. He talks about behavioral psychology and everything, right? So I mentioned my first step was like Tony Robbins, very masculine, you can do this. Then my soul was asking for the science and the bridge between my mind and my heart. And then I manifested to plan a retreat for Joe Dispenza. So then I did that. And then now I've been like, for the past year, I've been so into like behavioral science. And then boom, Ben Hardy started appearing in my life, right? And then his program just showed up the other day. And I was just like, yes, I am investing in myself, because the better I am, the better I can help the people who are working with me, the people who are investing themselves, I can give them better results, right? So for me, investing is now an easy yes. And I'm not telling you that this is like a change that you do in one day, but it's so powerful, because if you change it for yourself, you can also shift it for the way you see your clients, right? So I have another like mindset stuff, right? So it says, I believe I am worthy of this service, and I will do what it takes to achieve the result that I want, right? So many times investing, it comes to the space of worthiness. How worthy do we feel about the expansion? How worthy we feel about the transformation? So many things are connected into self-worth, right? This is why, like, honestly, my program Mastering, I think this is a secret, like my program Mastering the Art of Retreat Planning has evolved into a mindset program that, as a bonus, you learn how to do retreats. Because if we don't shift the mindset, then it's so hard. We're just like going against walls all the time. So why not clear the space so we can go deeper into what we really, really want to make happen, right? And self-worth is one of the biggest things that I see people going through. Questioning if they have experienced enough, if they have taken enough courses. And it's a valid question to ask yourself, right? I'm not like taking it out of the conversation. I think it's important to ask, because we also want to be honest with ourselves, right? We want to be true, vulnerable, but we want to also realize if this is coming out of fear or out of love. The reality is that we only make choices from two different energies, either fear or love. That's it. So when we're questioning something about ourselves, a belief system, the best way to just break it easy, this is one of like my best tips ever, is just ask yourself, am I choosing this from love or fear? Usually you get a very clear answer very quick. And then you will know in which direction do you need to take your actions towards, right? Is it to release the fear so you can make choices from love? Or if it's from love, where do I go next? Right? Because we are in this world to evolve. We're here to create stuff, right? We have creative energy, and it's just so amazing. Like we're so lucky to be here. I really like to call this like an opportunity for us to really live heaven on earth, right? I'm happy you enjoy my tip. Okay, so I have a mantra to overcome this belief is, in the moment of sale, my clients grow their wings, right? When someone says yes to joining one of my programs, I know that the expansion that is going to happen, it's already there. It's just putting ourselves in that energy. So you can do that too. Basically, if I can, you can kind of mindset. You know what I mean? Okay, so the number 3, and we're going to be covering 5, right? Number 3 is, I'm scared that I won't be able to deliver. This also comes very, very connected with self-worth, right? As I said, many, many things come with self-worth, right? Okay. So the reality is, when you're doing high-end coaching, high-end retreats, you are highly responsible for the results, right? Like, there is a big commitment. If, like, for example, if you buy one of my products that are like $27 or $7 or whatever, you know, one of these like easy things that, you know, I'm just like, oh, I have them, like, let the world have it as well. My commitment to the transformation is in such a smaller level, right? Because it's pre-recorded, they get it, they use it. But when someone wants to work with me and we have live sessions and we get into these containers, I become the biggest cheerleader, right? I want you to succeed. I want you to be the best version of yourself. And I do that through caring, because I care about absolutely everyone that walks through the door. And because I care, I put all my effort inside of it. And then I know that I am gonna actually freaking over deliver. Not just deliver, I'm gonna over deliver because I care. Honestly, that's the secret. Caring about the people that are working with you, people who are saying yes to your retreats, people who are saying yes to your masterminds, people who are saying yes to your one-on-one coaching. Yes, see, VS agrees. I always over deliver and they keep coming back. Half of my program, Mastering the Art of Retreat Planning, that now has a VIP upgrade, is filled by the people from the previous program. They loved it so much. They're like, I want to stay there for another 6 months. Because they know that I deliver on what I promise, right? Okay. It's also a responsibility to be honest, right? Sometimes people will be like, hey, do you teach how to set up LLCs? I'm like, no. I am not very aware or versed on that. And every state has different laws. So that's not my expertise. So I'm not going to tell you how to do that if I don't know how to do that, right? This is about, again, being authentic, being transparent, right? Okay. Also, I don't want to put all the pressure in the coach facilitator, right? It's also the responsibility of the person who says yes to open up to challenges, to questioning their thoughts, their belief systems. Because if you are doing something right, people are going to be wondering, is this the right thing? Am I going towards the right direction, right? So they also need to be open and know that things are going to be shaken, right? That if you want to change your life, change needs to happen. Yeah. Okay. So I have another mantra for you here, right? So it's, I guide clients transformations. My clients create those transformations. See, it's very important. I guide clients transformations. My clients create those transformations, because we all are not responsible for people's transformation. If people come and tell you, come to this retreat, I'm going to heal you. How do you feel about that? I'm going to transform you. Yes, run the opposite direction. This is like cult mindset, okay? This is like cult mindset. Like, because we cannot heal people. We can be the vessels for healing. We can be the vessels for transformation. We can guide people. I haven't been, but I've watched enough documentaries to know that it's very scary. Okay, so guiding clients' transformation and then allowing them to create those transformations. And you're not responsible for them to take the actions, right? You can support them through the process, okay? Step number 4 is, I don't like following up on people. If they want to work with me, they will let me know. Who has felt like this? like type a 1 in the chat if you've ever had this thought pass by your mind, because it has passed mine. Like, I am super, super honest here, right? And so many times, like, it's just horrible. And sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't really want to follow up on people. But then, yes, it actually works. But then, yes, people, once I follow up, they're like, thank you for following up. I've been so busy. Life is happening to me. And I wanted to reach out. But like, it got mixed in the mixture, right? Let's call it the hot cake batter with like the chocolate chips or something like that. So it is important, right? Like, for example, there's some places where, like, if they follow up on you, it's nice. If they don't follow up with you, it's kind of like also okay. Let's say you have, like, you like massages, right? And then you find a masseuse that you really like. You're gonna go and find her when you need a massage, right? But for me, sometimes if they follow up on me, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I've been trying to schedule a massage with you. Thank you so much for reminding me, right? But in general, when you're in the sales space, it's important, like when you're selling something, follow up, it's important. And you can do it in a way that is not salesy or it's not pushy. And I know we've all been there with those bank horrible phone calls telling you, do you want another credit card? Or, all these kind of different things. And then, like, I have a credit for you and I have this, and all these crazy calls that are like cold calling, and they kind of get annoying, right? If you tell them, hey, I'm not interested, they're like, no, but this is the best thing for you. Like, you're really missing out. And I'm like, I have enough credit cards. I don't need any more. And they're like, no, but this one is going to change your life. And I'm like, I don't want to change my life in that direction. Thank you so much. And they keep talking and talking and talking. And honestly, I have to say, I've hung up on them. Yeah. Because it comes to a point where I'm like, okay, this is too much. But how about if we change this mindset and we do follow up as a service, right? We follow up on people because we care, because we're interested in their success, right? So this is kind of like very interesting in that way, right? So it works in like any different direction, but the reality is that people need to want to change something in their lives. And sometimes when you talk to them, that's not the right day, the right month, but maybe next day it is, right? Something happened and now they're ready to say yes. So you can follow up in a way that feels natural. I like to ask people, hey, like, this is a kind reminder. If you're not interested, again, allowing for them to say no, just let me know, right? And I will stop. Or ask for permission. Can I follow up on you in 1 week? Right? Allowing the space for things to happen. Because if not, what happens is people tend to ghost you because they don't want to say no to you, because we're so programmed to be people pleasers. And it just leaves this weird vibe. Have you ever been there? Like, in that feeling that it just feels like awkward, like, oh my God, like, I don't really want to follow up more, but like this person is like not replying. Also, something that you can do there is just, hey, I want to clear the air. I would like to know if something happened, right? I'm totally open for a conversation. Okay. So the mantra for this one, guess which one it is? I follow up because I care. I follow up because I care, right? And I truly can tell you that for me, I really care about everyone that works with me. Like, I see their potential and I want it to happen for them. Now, there is a chance that they're not ready for it, and that's totally fine. But I like to create this container where it's safe to say, no, not now, maybe later. Or hell yes, this is what I want. Where do I pay? Okay. Okay, now let's go to number 5. Yes, okay. My potential clients will put off if I sell every day. Yeah. So many times what happens is we are in this space of creating transformation, and we care about people, right? And we think, oh my gosh, if I post about my program every single day, people are going to unfollow. The people who's going to unfollow is the people who actually are not aligned with your message. So it's okay if they unfollow, right? Like we're so used to vanity metrics of like, oh, if people have 100,000 followers, that's when they're like really making it. It's not true. There's people who have 120,000 followers and make $2,000 a month profit, right? It's vanity metrics. And there's people who have smaller followers and they make so much more because they know what they're doing and they care about people. So they know that something small is better. I'm going to throw at you a number from Instagram. Yes. So you know that out of your stories and your posts, only 5% of your audience sees it. So if you have 200 followers, how many people will see it? 10 people. If you have 2,000, 100 people. The possibility that the same 100 people see it again, it's very little. So it's okay to post about and share about what you're offering all the time because different people are going to see it. Also, for someone to remember you, they need to see you at least 7 times. And for someone to actually take an action on something that you put out there, they need to see you 32 times. I know, I'm getting a little bit number nerdy here, but I think it's important for us to bring it into the logical perspective. But really, if we are selling from a heart center perspective, right? And after this, I'm going to be talking about alignment between feminine and masculine for sales, right? If you are selling from your heart, people are going to know that they can say no. You're going to be sharing stories. They're going to be inspired. And then some people might be ready to buy from you the first time they see you. And for some people, it will take them 3 years. Okay? So if you stop showing up and you don't tell people, that person that maybe needed 3 years of warm up or 3 months of warm up is not going to get it. So you can see it actually as a disservice to the community. Yeah. So make sure you bring this into the conversation. I want to talk a little bit more about this, right? I do want to put like this big notice here, right? So whenever you're feeling you're convincing someone, just leave it alone. Okay? If you go into this space that you feel like, oh, I need to convince someone to join my program or my retreat or anything, just let it be. Like, take a step back. Because if you're convincing someone, it means they're not aligned and it's not the right moment for them. Yeah. Because if we keep pushing and we are doing this and we're trying to convince people, then we are going to be pushy, we are going to be salesy, and we are going to be feeling bad because we're following up because people are going to ghost us. So if you are convincing people, take a step back and look again at why are you convincing people? Why is that necessary? Like, let me know in the chat if this is something that you felt, like you felt that you had to convince someone. I remember at the beginning of my journey, I felt I had to convince people to show and prove my worth. Honestly, that's what's it. Yes, all the time. I paid lots of money for a business coach, and that's what they were teaching. Yeah. Yeah. I remember August last year, I was in Costa Rica. Yeah. I went to see some retreat venues, right? And I had a call with this woman, like she sent me a message and, I was like going through a lot of like, actually I was upgrading a lot of limiting beliefs. It was awesome. Like I absolutely love it. Right. But I was going through a lot. And then she showed up and she said like, oh, look, everything looks good. It feels like the only thing that you're missing is your sales process. And I was like, she's like, we can have a chat. And I'm like, okay, I'm open to listening. Right. Like, I like signed up with a coach like 1 week after this, right? But I was looking for a coach. I was like, okay, well, maybe this is what I'm missing, right? Maybe I'm missing the sales piece. And then I started speaking to her and I told her like, hey, I don't want this. I don't like this bro marketing, this pushy sales. I don't like these 100,000 follow-up messages. Are you there? Or, hey, what's up, girl? To start the conversation, to sell something. And I don't like this pushy strategy of like, there's only a few thoughts left. You're missing out on the opportunity of your lifetime. Like, if you don't take this, your life is going to be ruined. Okay. And she was like, no, of course not. This is not the way I teach you how to do sales. And I'm like, perfect. Tell me more about it. And then she started going on and she told me it's a 7,500 program. And I was like, okay, well, if it's the right thing, I'll do it. Right. By the end of the call, she was applying the same techniques I told her I didn't want to learn to me. In the same phone call. And then follow-up messages, right? So I sent her a very nice message afterwards and I say, hey, thank you for your follow-ups. I truly appreciate you. You're not the right person for me. I asked you that if you taught this method, you said no, and you were applying those on me the same day. I'm like, it's a little bit, I didn't say that, but I was like, it's a little bit like mismatch, right? Messaging. So this is so important, right? Like all the coaches that I work with now, it's all about energetic sales, organic sales, sales that feel aligned, that you feel like so excited to share that it doesn't feel like selling, because you can get there. You can get to a point where you just get to share who you are and your story and your message. And then the people who are ready raise their hands. Type a 1 in the chat if you want that for your retreats or your programs. Yeah. It's about the energy that we put out there. And I think we've spoken about this, Nicole, right? Yeah, it's all about the energy that we put out there. Took me a long time to learn. Nice to see you again. You look so cozy.
Trying. It's cold where I am right now.
Awesome. All right, so I have another thing that I want to mention here. Okay. So the idea is that we are professionally guiding people to say yes or no, but really from a place of caring, right? Not this like, oh my gosh, you need to come here. Like, I can see that this is going to change your life kind of eagerness. It's from a space of like allowing that person to realize if this is the right step for them or not. Like, I was talking to one of my students today and I could have like told him, you could really benefit from my VIP upgrade. This would be awesome for you. Instead of that, what I did is I said, hey, ask yourself, do you need this or do you want this? Like, where is it coming from? Like, he's not joining the VIP because it's not the right thing for him. And it's perfect. But I wanted him to make sure that either any program that he joins, he's doing it from the right mindset, right? When I join mentorship programs and all this massive, like high ticket programs, and I invest in myself and I do all this kind of things to like up level me, because I get to teach better things, right? More powerful every single time. What happens inside of it is that I feel this urge to expand. Like my heart pushes me forward and says, go for more. I don't make decisions based on lack, right? So I want you to see this as an opportunity for yourself. Like when you make a decision, it's because you're ready for an expansion, not because you think, not feel, right? You think that another extra course or spending $10,000 more on your preparation is going to be the thing that actually makes the difference, because the reality is that you are the one who makes the difference. Yeah. So I have a mantra for this. I choose selling every day because I choose love, success, and growth every day. I'm going to say it again. I choose selling every day because I choose love, success, and growth every day, right? So we are doing this. I want to just give you an example for like 2 or 3 questions that you can ask yourself when it comes to limiting beliefs, right? Because we need to get rid of those for energetic selling. Like I already told you how to shift and how to do energetic selling. Like, this is the gist. Like, now it's just practice, right? But if you're believing something that you're not good at selling, or, you know, any reason of a belief system that may be valid, or, you know, like, you want to ask yourself, why might this not be true, right? Why might these not be true? So basically what you're doing is you're asking your brain to go find evidence of it not being true. So what it's going to do is going to go find you all the reasons of why it is true, right? If we ask our brain, oh, or we tell it, I can't sell every day, it's going to go and find you evidence that you can't sell every day. Or if you tell your brain that you are pushy, that this is a pushy sales tactic, it's going to go find you evidence that it is. So what about shifting the question? And then the next question is, you ask yourself, how does my higher self see this problem? Yeah. Why am I saying this? Because when you are in a space that you feel so much better about who you are as a human being, where you want to go, what's your North Star, like what's your purpose of doing what you do, that higher self has better answers for you, because it's going to guide you, because that higher self has no fear. It's living the impossible goal, the impossible dream. For the higher self, it's possible. Yeah. And yes, just find yourself like what might be opposite to the truth. Okay. So these are the 5 things. I'm just gonna like read them back to you, so we bring them back, right? So the 5 limiting beliefs that stop you from like selling like in a way that's resonant and it's aligned with your message, and you're doing it from a heart-centered perspective, is you don't want to come out salesy or pushy. That's number 1. Number 2 is I'm taking away from clients when they buy from me, right? So we talk about like actually thinking about it as an investment for themselves and an investment for you when you're like choosing to actually join a program. I'm scared that I won't be able to deliver, right? That's number 3. Number 4, I don't like following up on people. If they want to work with me, they will let me know, right? And number 5, my potential clients will be put off if I sell every day. Yeah. And honestly, let me just be super honest. Daily selling is not part of our normal system. Yeah. So it's going to feel icky at the beginning. It's going to feel weird. And the only way to get rid of this limiting belief is by taking action. Yeah. This is the only way. Awesome. So now I want to take a second and talk about the alignment between the both energies, feminine and masculine, for selling.
Can I ask a quick question or not allowed?
At the end. Yeah.
Okay.
At the end. Thank you. You don't have the spoons to post every day. So there's scheduling systems. There's so many things that can be done. Yeah. Okay. So just let me cover this piece on like masculine and feminine energy for selling, right? So the feminine energy, you know, it's very flowy, it's very moving. And some of us have developed one more than the other. Like when I used to live in the Middle East, my masculine energy was very strong because I needed to do that to kind of like survive in a space where it was very man focused, right? So I had to do that. And when I came back to Mexico, I knew that I needed to shift it because it was not balancing who I was. Like even internally, like my hormones were like mixed up, right? So I had to go to my Chinese medicine doctor and fix that in the physical level and then on a mental level. And then I started understanding, and then I started testing all this like very feminine approach, right? And then from there, what happened was actually I was feeling too feminine. And so I was like going to the other opposite, right? I'm a little bit like extremist from time to time. So I was like, I need to find a way to balance it, right? And an amazing way for me to understand that is the feminine has all the creative ideas. It has this flow. It has this beautiful energy that comes out, that is really, really honest, very vulnerable, that shares their story, that doesn't really care. Like it's just very like authentic, right? It's very, very connected to their message. And then the masculine energy is the go-getter, right? So you can have, if you have a balanced energy, and this really helps when you're selling something, is you have all these amazing ideas, this awesome feeling, these experiences throughout, but then they don't stay just in air. The masculine energy helps you actually make it a reality. It's kind of this reminder of like, awesome idea, put it down into paper, right? So when you find that you are in alignment with your both energies, they work together instead of against each other, right? Because when you're one more sided to one or the other, what happens is the other one is, they're fighting against each other. One is like, why do you want to be so feminine? Like, we're supposed to be doing this. Like, go post 35 times per day and just share every single thing. And the feminine is like, oh no, I want to take a nap. Like, what do you mean about like all day on Facebook or Instagram, or like all the day talking to people? And then when it's the other way around, you're like chilling and you're not actioning anything, and you're just like sitting by the garden or by the pool, reading a book and just having amazing ideas. And maybe you have a notepad and you do automatic writing and you do all these things. And then maybe you have your crystal quartz, and then you like light candles and you take long baths, and nothing is happening in your business, right? And your masculine side is like, hello, like, when are you going to make this happen? Like, let's take some steps towards it, right? So I think it's very important to learn how to balance the two of them. So because when they're working together, they're so much more powerful. And if you see any of my content today and in the future, you are going to see that the way I do things, they're very creative. They're very connected to my essence, to what I want to create for the world. Like, we're in our sessions and it's like, the ideas flow and everything comes together on its own. But then there is this masculine energy that makes sure that those sessions are happening, that they're scheduled at a certain time of the week, right? That I have a little bit of order in some places, right? That if I don't want to pre-schedule all my posts for a while, it's okay. But later on, I know that I'm going to go back to it, because that allows me, it gives me more time to be more feminine and to enjoy and to go on holidays and to just take the afternoons off. It helps me be more effective at work. The reality is I only spend really, like, in general, 4 hours behind my computer every day for my business, with classes, clients, and everything. Why? Because I built the system that works for me. Because I want to have space to go to painting classes. I want to have space to go hang out with my friends and have coffee. I want to have space to chat with people, to send messages, to just check in on people. But if I was in a very masculine energy, I would go back into my space of thinking that I need to work 12 to 13 hours to actually have a successful business. And it's not true. Okay. All right. So let me wrap up this about energetic selling. And, there's so many more things that I know about energetic selling. This is just like the tip of the iceberg, but I wanted to give you a little taste of what it is to spend time with me, right? In whatever form or shape that looks like, right? So before we go to Q&A and like hot seat coaching at the end of the session, I will tell you that we are starting next week Mastering the Art of Retreat Planning. This is an amazing addition. We have the gold version that is like 12 weeks. These 12 weeks is all packed about getting actually a retreat out there and selling it. So it's very cool. It has weekly sessions. We have actionable steps every single time. There's a method that it's a secret method that no one finds out until the end of the course, when everything is actually working with each other. And then this time I have this amazing opportunity for a BIP upgrade. That it means we get to work together for 6 months. And this is a program that is not just for people who want to do retreats, but for people who want to incorporate retreats into their overall business. So all the pieces inside of your business work for each other. So for example, we start actually with an inventory of all the things that you already have, because I truly believe that we are all perfect as we are right now, and we're just ready to expand or evolve, right? So we go into that space. You also have one-on-one coaching sessions with me that I'm like, I'm even shocked that I added those. And I have like one-on-one sessions, and The people who are going to be there are amazing. They're starting their businesses. They really want to create a change and transformation in the world. And yeah, that's it. Yeah. So if you are interested, feel free to send me an email or a note.